Welcome to this GCSE Science tutorial video on fossils. Fossils are the preserved remains, impressions or trace of organisms from the past. For something to be classified as a fossil, it must be at least 10,000 years old. Fossils are formed in three main ways. The first is by mineral replacement. This is where bone, teeth and shells are replaced by minerals. Remember that bone, teeth and shells do not decay easily. For an organism to decay, the conditions must be right. There must be warmth, oxygen and moisture. Appearing on your screen now is a prehistoric creature called an ammonite, whose shell has been replaced by minerals. Fossils such as this are called rock fossils, and they are the most common type of fossil that exist. So how does mineral replacement occur? Well, it starts with the soft tissue like muscle decaying and the bone dissolves, and then sediment covers the skeleton. Next, minerals fill the space left by the bone. And eventually, the minerals harden to form an exact mold of the organism's remains. The second way that fossils are formed that we are going to discuss is by way of impressions or casts. Plant rootlets and animal burrows buried in clay leave a cast, and footprints leave an impression in the ground, and we can see there a dinosaur footprint as an impression. And the third way in which fossils are formed is by preservation, and this is in part because microbes that cause decay cannot survive. Preservation can take place in a number of ways, such as inside amber, a clear yellow stone made of tree resin. And inside amber there is no oxygen or moisture, which means there is no decay. Preservation also occurs inside ice, such as in glaciers. And inside glaciers it is too cold, so microbes cannot function. And thirdly, preservation occurs in peat bogs. Here the conditions are simply too acidic for decay to take place. In fact, the organism undergoes a kind of pickling. This is because the pH inside the peat bog is similar to that of vinegar. The fossil record is incomplete, therefore it has its limitations. The fossil record provides evidence for evolution. Here are some limitations of the fossil record. The first one is that many early organisms were soft-bodied, so decayed and left no fossil trace. These early organisms were also destroyed by geological formations of mountain ranges, continents moving, erosion and volcanic activity. Limitation number 2 is that the vast majority of organisms have an incomplete fossil record, which means there are gaps. This means that we have a limited view of their evolution. And again, just to reiterate the point, soft bodies decaying here is a key reason as to why we have this incomplete fossil record. And limitation number 3 is that the fossil record does not include every species that has ever existed. New fossils are discovered all the time, and therefore we can assume that many fossils are yet to be found. Furthermore, the ideal conditions for fossilization are actually very rare. However, some animals do have relatively complete fossil records, and this shows their evolution over time. A good example of this is the horse. We have a fairly complete fossil record from the last 55 million years. The animal the modern horse evolved from started out as the size of a dog called Eohippus with a 4-toed hoof. Over time the ground hardened and the ancestors of the horse became bigger and taller. They also lost their toes. The modern horse evolved a 1-toed hoof, and this is very well adapted to run fast on hard ground. And as for being bigger and taller, we can see the modern horse is around 1.6 meters tall, and you can see Eohippus, the early ancestor of the horse, is only 0.4 meters tall. And that is the end of our video on fossils. Once again, thank you for choosing Genius Science, and remember to work hard, be kind to others, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.